All eyes on Doge. Big runner. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big runner. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.69. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome on a Monday. How's everybody doing? Did you survive the weekend? Did you survive the day so far today with some up and down trading, not only in crypto, but in stocks as well? Today, we're going to be covering X Money. Yes, X. Twitter has launched X Money partially. Our friend Jason has it. Hey, Jason, congratulations. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about SpaceX and Tesla, what's going on with Elon's companies. You know, his net worth isn't $1 trillion anymore. He's not a trillionaire anymore. Still the richest man in the world, but not a trillionaire. Details. We're going to talk about also Bitcoin and ETH. We're going to talk about the meme tokens. Over the weekend, we did have a run on some of the memes. So we'll cover that as well. All of that and more today on Kriss Live. Welcome everybody into the chat and you watching at home on a video, as all of my live streams become videos on my channel. So you guys can, reference later and say, well, Chris said this or Chris didn't say that, because I get misquoted all the time, but all of my stuff is all out there. I say what I say, I say what I say. Let me drop here in the corner, make the charts big here. When we have Dogecoin now at 7.2 cents. Yes, 7.2 cents. This was the run on Saturday as Dogecoin had been down in the 695 area for about 24 hours. So you had 24 hours to accumulate Dogecoin right here at 6.95 cents. Was that the bottom? That was my question of the morning. Was that the bottom? Was that the bottom? Maybe I should make a poll of that. Let's see what you guys think. Was the 0.0695 Dogecoin price over the weekend, or let me say end of last week, end of last week, the bottom of this bear market? Oh, we'll see what you guys think. See what you vote in the poll. Was this 0695? Okay. There we go. See what you guys think. See what you guys think. Let's check in on the chat, and then I'll go through all my stuff here. Everybody, hello. Jason's got his X Money set up. We're going to talk about X Money in just a minute. But Jason got it, and he's got it set up. When Dogecoin? That is the question. When Dogecoin? Lower, fifth, finally catching the live from the start. Welcome. Glad you're here. Nick is here. Dr. Doge. DJ and Charlie. Charlotte's in the house. Campo. Hello. Charles. Measdy. Hey, everybody. Orbison. Bought more Doge. You're ready for the bull market. I think I'm still kind of, waiting for another drop, but we'll see. KB, how are you? Thank you. Yes, still here. All bear market. I'm still here. Hello. Rayon says Dogecoin is still going to go lower, so we will see. Chuck is in the house as well. You're still working. That's okay. Still here. They gave me $15. Oh, wow, Jason, nice. 15 smackaroonies for free just for signing up. Just for signing up. Greetings, Danny. How are you? Hello, hello. How do I set up X Money? Is there an app? Both very good questions, of which I don't know the answer yet because I'm not one of the lucky ones yet. I'm not one of the lucky ones yet. No X Money in Europe yet. Yet, Charlotte. It'll come. It'll come. Now it's launching in 48 states and the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. Not launching in Massachusetts. I'm not in Massachusetts anymore. And I changed my home state on X to Florida. And I still don't have X Money yet. It'll come. It will come. I'm in limbo. JRD is in limbo. So we don't know where JRD is, but he's in limbo. When is X Money launching? Today. Slowly. Not the way Kriss would have done it. As I've said before, Kriss believes that Elon and X should have had big fanfare, like big marketing blitz on X Money. But nope, as Kriss had also predicted, he's not going to do that. They're going to slow roll it. So I don't think Dogecoin is going to see the pump that we kind of wanted when X Money launched, because it's going to be this real slow roll. Real slow roll. Johnny Love, how are you? What's up? Life is good. Life is good here. Azrael, how are you? I had a hunch to buy and didn't take it up. Those hunches I don't follow, though, usually mean missed chances, but you may get another chance. So vote no in the poll, right? Vote no in the poll because you want it to go lower to get another chance at Dogecoin below 7 cents. Yes. Cyan Ryan, how are you? Saw you on Tom's earlier today. Tom was good. Another good one. Elon owes me. Elon owes you a lot, Charlotte. Does your boyfriend know about you and Elon? Just a question. Yes, everybody vote in the poll. Was that the bear market? Was that the bottom? Did we see the bottom for Dogecoin? Was that the bottom? So vote in the poll and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. The news headlines this morning was Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Dogecoin rise as US Iran holds off strikes. Some analyst says very likely the bottom is in. The bottom is in. Now, who said that? Who said the bottom is in? Who said that? Michael Vandepop. So, Michelle, he owns a lot of altcoins and he's been buying altcoins continually. He wants the prices to go up so bad because his portfolio is hurting that it affects his brain. So his brain says the bottom's in because he wants it to be in because he already holds a crap ton of altcoins. He's not like some of us where we want the price to go down lower so we can buy on the dip because we got a lot of dry powder sitting there waiting. It's amazing how the brain can affect you. It's amazing. So that's Michael Vandepop. I'm betting most on the ETH ecosystem, and I think that altcoins will outperform Bitcoin. So what I say to Michelle here is I do believe in the ETH ecosystem. Some altcoins will outperform Bitcoin. Not all altcoins. Some altcoins will outperform Bitcoin. Why is he all in on ETH? Because ETH has had a good July. That's why. And we'll take a look at ETH in just a little bit. ETH has had a good July. So he's jumping on the ETH bandwagon, even though a year and a half from now, that may not be the case. But right now, ETH is doing well. And the ETH ecosystem, well, there's really not much else other than ETH that's doing well. There's some ETH memes that are doing well. Sheeb, Pepe, others. We'll look at those, the meme tokens. Yeah. So that's what Michael Vanderpump says. Later, Benzinga changed the title on their lead-in for crypto, and they say Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, Dogecoin pull back as traders position ahead of Wednesday's FOMC. So we first had, this morning, this was rise, right? We had the rise, and then later it was pull back as we had most cryptos coming up and hitting. Dogecoin went up to 735 and then pulled back to 7.1, and now it is at about 7.2. So there was a pullback, and so Benzinga, of course, then says, well, it pulls back as traders position ahead of Wednesday's FOMC. So on Wednesday, as we typically do with the US Fed FOMCs, is I will be over on Tom Crown's channel from 1:30 till 3 or so. And Tom does a great job of doing the unveiling of the Fed rate hike or cut or nothing, which I think it's going to be again this time. It's going to be a big nothing burger. But we hang out anyway over at Tom's. We have a good time. I'll be in the chat. And then I'll do the follow-up here with my live stream, where we'll be following up on Tom's and seeing the after effects of the FOMC on the stock closing for the day and crypto. So that'll be Wednesday. So watch for that Wednesday, next Kriss Pack's live stream. Wednesday. Meanwhile, we had $1 billion this morning wiped out from market cap of stocks this morning. So this morning, just about all the big stocks were down, particularly NVIDIA and SanDisk and Micron, and the big chip guys are down. They were a bit overbought, I think, and probably a bit overvalued as well. And people are seeing that, and they're seeing, the big new AI models coming out of China, which are almost just as good as the Anthropic and Google and everything else here. So are these big AI models all that they're said to be? I don't know. I'm not in that game. I'm not buying AI model. I'm not running Claude bots that I got to pay for, or agents or whatever. Not doing that. But I do watch the stocks. Now, I wasn't on SanDisk. I wasn't on Micron. I had a little bit of NVIDIA, surely not enough to really make a difference in my portfolio that much. But I've been chasing some other things, and I've been making profits, doing my thing as I continue to wait for Dogecoin dips to load up more on Dogecoin, because the stock market will be going down this fall, I believe, and the crypto market is going to be turning around and starting to go back up. So anyway, that's what's going on over there in the stock world. And we'll check in on some of them, like SpaceX. Yeah, SpaceX fell below $110 today. Now, at the end of the day, we had SpaceX make a little bit of a run. It actually bottomed at about 108, 108.5. We had the bottom this morning for SpaceX. Again, new all-time low for SpaceX post-IPO. But it did have a bit of a run, was still down 1.5 points today at 113.5. 113.5. As we zoom out and we see the bigger picture here on SpaceX, since the IPO, the big run up to 225, and now it is half that price. It's half the price. So it's lost half of its value, is what has happened with SpaceX. And if you've followed me before and you've heard this before, I still believe SpaceX will be going under $100 over the next month or two, under $100. And today on Tom's channel, we were talking about 69. And of course, that's not good enough for Ryan. He's got to say 67. And we got into that whole thing. And Tom was like, 69 makes sense, but 67, 67, that's a good number. So we were having fun with that today over at Tom's channel earlier today with SpaceX. And of course, he was doing his technical analysis on this thing, and we're trying to figure out, like, if you're going to buy SpaceX, where do you buy it at? And like Tom, I'm not convinced that this is the bottom for SpaceX, and that SpaceX is not going to curl back up right now. We have 20% unlocks. So SpaceX employees that have held the stock privately, that's now public, they will be allowed to sell up to 20% of their holdings around August 10th, August 11th timeframe. That's going to be some heavy selling pressure on SpaceX. So yeah, I'm not buying any SpaceX. And for those that don't know, I was in on the IPO. I got $135 SpaceX on the IPO, which is this blue dotted line here. This is the 135 level. And I sold up at about 168 here on day 2. I sold. It went higher, but that's okay. I took my profit because I knew that eventually this was going to happen. And I didn't know how quickly it would. But there was a lot of SpaceX hype, and a lot of people were buying. I hope you didn't buy any $200 SpaceX. I hope you didn't, because SpaceX isn't going to see $200 again for a long, long time. So yeah, that's my take. That's my take on SpaceX. And then Tesla, of course, we had the bad earnings last week. And it really wasn't the earnings that were quite so bad, but it was where their money is being spent. And a lot of their money being spent is going into things that aren't going to be profitable for a long time. And investors didn't like that. So SpaceX or Tesla tanked down to 338, down to 325, 315, 309 is where it is today. And it looks like we might see Tesla breaking into the 200s, maybe tomorrow. So for those that thought anything under $400 was a good buy for Tesla, how about under $300? Because that looks like what is happening with Tesla. Now, we still have NASDAQ, S&P 500, Russell, and the Dow all still up near all-time highs. Some of them are starting to pull back a little bit, especially NASDAQ, because we've got the tech, doing some pullbacks. And of course, Tesla now playing into that. So it's tough. It's a tough market right now to figure out. Trump is doing everything he can to try and keep the stock market elevated, but some things are out of his control. But he'll continue to try and control oil. He'll continue to try and control Iran, the narrative back and forth. One day it's, I'm going to blow the smithereens out of Iran. And then the next it's like, yeah, we're talking. We're going to be close to a deal again. And it's just like, what? And he just turns and turns and turns to keep the stock market from imploding. So we have that going on. All right. So we can talk more about that if you guys want. But let's move on. X Money. X Money is launching, my folks. It is rolling out. X Money is rolling out. It's starting with Premium and Premium Plus. Premium Plus and Premium members. A slow roll of X Money. Now, as you know, X Money is fiat only. because they did a partnership with Visa. So it's kind of a Visa debit card kind of account. But they're going to be giving you insurance, and they're going to allow you to go to do savings, so you can get an interest return on your savings. And of course, it's for payments. Remember, they used to be called X payments. So you will be able to use your money in your X money account to pay for things. Now, not quite sure how all of that is going to work yet. I don't have my account yet. Our friend Jason here in the chat just got his X money account started up today. So we'll learn more as we go forward. Of course, there's no Dogecoin. There's no digital assets, not yet. I got my direct deposit set up. I'm going to send it to HR tomorrow. Direct deposit directly into X money. Are you going to get rid of a bank altogether, Jason? Because that's what I want to do. I want to get rid of my bank altogether. So direct deposit directly into X money. Awesome. Awesome. Launching December 31st. No, it's launching today, dude. Today, people are getting their X money accounts. Yes, that's the plan. There you go. Awesome. Awesome. So that's what's happening with X money right now. This is happening, and Jason's also applied for his card, his X card. He's going all in. Love it. Going all in. Your money on the world's most powerful network. Most powerful network? Questionable. X money is rolling out to US Premium and Premium Plus subscribers starting today. Today. So, how to sign up? It'll just show up, right, Jason? It just shows up on your menu here, right? All of a sudden, there's a money thing that shows up. Is that how that worked for you? It just showed up in your menu, right? That's what I would guess, is it just shows up and there it is. Like you'll get a notification. Okay. All right. And there you go. So there you go, Steven. You'll get a notification. So X money. Dogecoin, I posted today, if you saw and you follow me.
Lots of rich people were supporting Bitcoin, but I was like, but the people in the line want me to support Doge, I'll support Doge. You know what? Doge is the people's crypto, so I will support it.
Doge is the people's crypto, Elon said. In 2024, we need Elon. We need Elon, right? Come on, support Dogecoin, dude. You said you were going to keep supporting Dogecoin. So come on. Support it. Support it. The other big news is the Clarity Act. Now, you get guys like this. Crypto Rover, he's a permabull. Everything is either to the moon or it's going to crash. And he posts stuff like this. It's like the Clarity Act, if it's approved, this is going to be what happens to your bags. Here he's showing Bitcoin, ETH, and total crypto market cap with these giant green candles. Yeah, that's not happening. Not happening. But this is what this guy does. He just, whatever. So the talk is on Clarity Act that next week, the Senate is finally going to get together and whatever committee it is going to go through it one more time. Nothing's happening on it this week. So if this week particularly Wednesday, FOMC day, of which, again, there's not going to be a rate hike, but there's not going to be a rate cut either. It's going to be a big nothing burger. Tom Crown thinks that Kevin Warsh is going to sound hawkish, and there's going to be a big dump in the markets on Wednesday afternoon. That's what Tom thinks is going to happen. And I kind of agree with that. So I think we're going to see a dump, and we'll be able to then buy more crypto at low prices through the rest of this week. We'll see how that plays out. And even if the Clarity Act does get approved in, let's say, 2 weeks' time, if the Senate stays in session, because they've got this big planned August holiday recess for the SAVE Act, which is what Trump really wants them to pass, we may not see a vote on the Clarity Act. I don't know. And our friend Ted Pillow says, look, if the Clarity Act is approved, we could see Bitcoin follow this white fractal up to like 76K. If the Clarity Act is rejected, we could see this red fractal down here where Bitcoin goes down into the low 50s. What I think is going to happen is neither is going to happen. And we're just going to drift around sideways with little dips. And the little dips will be based on other things, not the Clarity Act, because it's going to be delayed. I just don't see anything happening that fast. Too much involved, particularly with the banks and the bank lobby and Democrats versus Republicans. The Democrats aren't going to vote for anything. You're not going to get any Democrat votes on this. So I think it's right now still a big nothing burger, and this whole thing is going to just bounce around sideways. That's my take on the Clarity Act. And I've been very consistent about that for months, and it just continues. So don't get all your hopes up. Meanwhile, MicroStrategy did not buy any more Bitcoin. MicroStrategy did not buy any more Bitcoin. Instead, what they did was they added $525 million to its USD reserve. And of course, this is going to cover their preferred dividend payouts, which is Stretch. So Stretch went from like $86 to $88 today. Still not up at the $100 peg where it's supposed to be. MicroStrategy stock went up today, a good amount, like 6 or 7%. So, but where did they get the $525 million? Did they sell more stock? That'd be more dilution, more shares in circulation. I don't know. I'm still not buying MicroStrategy stock. I mean, if it tanks all the way down to like $20 or $30, I might buy some, but not 90. Not 90. So we will watch that. Meanwhile, buyer capitulation. What does this mean? This means people selling at a loss. Selling at a loss. Notice the peaks of when this happens. When people are selling Bitcoin at a loss. It's every 4 years. It's every 4 years. This is another view of bear markets. Every 4 years, we see capitulation. We see selling at a loss. And here we are in the summer of 2026, and we've got a lot of people selling their Bitcoin at a loss. Personally, if I was holding a lot of Bitcoin and Bitcoin is floundering, in the low 60s, I would find some other way to find the money I need than selling my Bitcoin at a loss. But here we have it. Again, every 4 years, Bitcoin capitulation just as bad as it was back in 2022. So again, another different view of the 4-year cycles and how they continue in crypto, particularly Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin capitulation. Meanwhile, we have ETH. So this is what I was talking about. Our friend Michael Vanderpop that I covered earlier in the stream is going all in on ETH in the ETH ecosystem. And why is that? Because ETH has actually been doing well in July. ETH has actually been doing well. We go over to CoinGlass, of which we look at the CoinGlass site. We go to the CoinGlass site of where we typically look at liquidations and heat maps, but you can go to data and you can look at return percentage, and you can say, you can look at the monthly returns for Bitcoin, and you can see that Bitcoin is up 11% for the month of July. It's up 11%. And you're like, hey, after May and June were red, July is in the green, 11%. But then you flip it over to ETH. ETH is up 24% in July, a 24% gain for ETH in the month of July. So for Michael Vanderpop, he's jumping on the bandwagon. He thinks the bottom is already in, and he thinks that this ETH move 24% up in July is good for his alts, which he's heavy in alts. And he says the bottom's already in. So it makes sense what he said. I still think there's going to be some dips. Now, will ETH dip back down into the 1500s again like it was before? Probably not. I think ETH bottom is probably in. And we already said last week, if you remember, Kriss called Bitcoin bottom right there. Bitcoin 57,495. That was the bottom on June 30th. That was the bottom for Bitcoin. I now believe Bitcoin is not going to see 57,495 again. We'll see how that plays out. If it goes back down below 60K and it's in the 50s, hey, great buying opportunity. But I don't think that's going to happen now. We would need a big catalyst, and it's got to be more than like BitMEX and Bitmart shutting down. You know, a couple of more exchanges shut down or are shutting down or going through the process. I get it. It's a bear market. Things happen, but it's not like a bankruptcy like FTX, like a sudden shock to the system, like coming out of nowhere. It's going to be an orderly kind of shutdown, give you time to take your coins off the exchange if you hold them on the exchange. So we have that. But ETH, yes, ETH is up 24% for the month of July. Good for ETH. Now, of course, this week is the last week of July, which means at the end of the week, Kriss will be coming out with his August price prediction video for Doge and crypto. That is coming out at the end of this week. I will look back in July, but most of it is going to be forward looking into August and what I think is going to happen in August. So that video will be coming out most likely Friday morning. So watch for that. Meanwhile, meme coins. They're heating up again. Of course, this was 2 days ago, which was Saturday. And Saturday, we did have Dogecoin going like a 5% run. And, you know, that was good. You know, we had this run back up for Doge. But we had SHIB go up 25%. And I do at least have to cover it because it's crypto and it's a thing. SHIB went up 25%. Now SHIB has since dropped back down 5%. And from its high that it actually hit on Saturday, it's down about 13%. So about half of its gains that it had here on Saturday have been wiped out. And that's typically what we see, particularly in a bear market. You get something goes on a big run like this, and then it erases like half its gain. Well, we see that. That happens a lot. And that's on a coin that has good support. If it's a coin that has no support, like a token, typically it'll just come all the way back down. But for SHIB to do this, that makes sense. That makes sense. So we had SHIB do that. So SHIB had its day in glory on Saturday, and it's lost half of its value, half of its gain. Not half of the value, half its gain. It had lost through the pullback on Sunday and then today's further pullback. So did need to at least address the elephant in the room for those that wonder about SHIB. Dogecoin. Doge confirms a short-term golden cross. And you know, I don't believe in this crap, right? As particularly a short-term golden cross. In my world, there's only one golden cross, and that's on the daily between the 50 and the 200. The 50 and the 200 day moving averages. I don't look at anything else. Because you're always going to have golden crosses then. It's just always going to happen. You're going to have death crosses. You're going to have golden crosses. It's going to happen all the time. So you just don't look on the shorter time frames. So we have that. So that's FUD. That's just nothing. And then we've got another article here. I don't know what happened to it. There was another one about the Doge 1 mission, and it's coming in like 2 months. No, it's not. So if you read anything about Doge 1 and like this fall, that's false, not happening. There's some website out there that's run by somebody who owns the Doge 1 meme token that has nothing to do with the Doge 1 project. He's just shilling his contract address, trying to get people to go to his website. And everyone's saying, oh, Doge 1, Doge 1. And it's like, no, not happening this year. Maybe next year. That's what Elon said. I trust Elon over this guy, this dude. So we have that. And then a Dogecoin's 10-cent odds sink as crowded longs raise the market risk. That's right. Dogecoin rebounded above 7 cents, yet Polymarket gives it only a 1% chance of reaching 10 cents in July. Well, July only has a week left. So that's pretty short-term time frame. I don't even think it's going to reach 10 cents in August, much less July. Technical signals remain mixed. Crowded long positions are falling. Open interest raises near-term downside risk for traders. And that's what it is. Again, we continue to watch the liquidations happening. And because that's really what moves the crypto market, I believe, during the summers, is more the liquidations. Every once in a while we get some big crypto news, good or bad, or overall economic market news. But in the end, it turns and goes back to liquidations. Now you can see in the last hour, we're very mixed between green and red, which means this is kind of a sideways market. There are some going up, some going down. You're getting both longs and shorts getting taken out in about an equal amount. Over the past 1 hour, over the past 4 hours, it's almost equal between longs and shorts. And we end up with this kind of thing. Meanwhile, our friend Ali, and I showed an Ali chart last week, and somebody in the comments was like, why do you keep showing that guy? And I'm like, no, I'm not showing that guy. I'm showing Dogecoin. I'll talk about the news about Dogecoin. And this is the thing about Dogecoin. that Ali brings to attention. It doesn't mean anything in my position, in my point of view, because he says Dogecoin is starting to rebound. The URPD points to 8.1 cents as the first major resistance level. 8.1 cents, whatever this URPD is. I don't believe it. He said TD sequential indicator flashed by at 7.3 cents, and then it went down to 6.9. So anybody who bought at 7.3 missed out on the 6.9 dip. You know, things like that always happen with Ali. But then he says a breakout above it could clear the way for a move towards 17 cents, where the next significant supply zone sits. 17 cents. And I'm like, we're not going to see that. Probably not even this year. It's like, anyway, just covering it as a thing. And we move on. Finally, SHIB. SHIB holds its weekend gain as whales move at the top. Well, that was whenever this thing was printed, and it's not anymore. SHIB did not hold its weekend gain. It has since lost half of its gain. Lost half of its gain. So much for SHIB. I did have that article on it that I wanted to mention. All right. I'm done with my stuff. It's time for Q&A. Q&A, folks. What's going on in the chat? Did you guys vote in the poll? Did you vote in the poll? What do we think? Here's 6.9 cents. We saw this last week. Friday, we actually went down to 6.85. Actually, we did it twice. On the first dip, my limit order hit, and I got myself 400,000 more Dogecoin right there. Of course, at Robinhood, you need to hit 685 in order to get 695, and I actually filled it like 693. So thank you, Robinhood. So I did that, and then I was waiting for my next limit order was at 685. And in order for 685 to hit on Robinhood, I would need it to go to 675. And it didn't go that low. So I still have an open limit order for another 400,000 Dogecoin. But it didn't hit. But I'm patient and I wait. And we see. Crypto bottomed at the moment. Yeah, it did. But where does it go from here? Well, in August, or the end of this week, I'm going to have a video. I'm going to talk about the month of August and how I think the month of August is going to play out. So you can watch for that. If the AI bubble pops, crypto will have a huge leg down. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about AI bubble. And particularly it more refers to stocks. And I think we already have a lot of the memory stocks, the SanDisks and such, that are pulling back like big time. We can look at SanDisk here. We were just looking at that. There's Micron, and Micron had already pulled back. And there's SanDisk right there. That's quite a pullback. It was up at $1,600 and goes all the way down to $1,200. That's 25% pullback on SanDisk. So that 25% pullback that's a big number. That's a big number already. But is that the bubble, right? Is that the bubble popping? I don't think so. I think that's just an overbought stock, and people were just taking profits for fear that there's a big bubble that's going to pop. Exactly as predicted. Sure. Maybe October is the bottom. Well, there's a lot of the Bitcoin maxis and the Bitcoin TA people that think the bottom for Bitcoin will indeed be October, because the 4-year cycle will say 3 years and 11 months from the previous. And the previous bottom was in November. So this year's will be October, just because that's what already happened. Maybe Maybe we have that final capitulation happens in October as the 4-year cycle says. Maybe that happens. We'll watch that. When interest rates are low, I will borrow more money to buy Doge, James says. Yeah, more interest rates aren't coming down anytime soon. Even though Trump said he wants interest rates down and he picked Kevin Warsh, for some reason, maybe he thought Warsh would do what he said and get the board of governors of the Fed to agree to lower interest rates, but the economy is doing nothing but scream raising interest rates, not lowering them. Lowering them would just give us higher inflation. So I don't think you're going to get low interest rates to buy any more Doge right now, James. Not anytime soon. It's not coming. So you have to find some other funds in order to buy Doge down here in the lower 7s or even in the 6s if we come back down. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Whether crypto bottomed or not entirely depending on the stock market later this year. That could be. If we have a big drop in the stock market, a big Black Friday, Black Monday event or something like that, crypto will go down. That is true. But Trump is going to do everything he can to keep the stock market up at least until the midterm elections in early November. Elon definitely needs to back up Dogecoin. He's not going to go back to the White House. He did that. And I think he kind of regrets his time supporting Trump like he did and doing all of that. Looking back, he's made a few comments like that. I think the Doge work, Department of Government Efficiency, helping like streamline the government, get rid of some waste, fraud, and abuse and all that. The intentions were good. The optics were bad. A tough job, tough thing to do. And he got some work done, though. There was some work done, and it does kind of continue. We see Vice President Vance continuing to dive into fraud in the government. More politicized, though, and more about NGOs and left-leaning fraud going on. So that work kind of continues, but Elon's not going back. No. James thinks Bitcoin will go back to 57.58. Well, that's where it was. That's where it was before. So, meme coins can move, but risky compared to Bitcoin. Yes, exactly. Now, my theory is Dogecoin will outperform Bitcoin from this summer over the next year and a half. Again, Dogecoin will outperform Bitcoin in the next year and a half from here. And this is why I'm not buying Bitcoin right now. I want Bitcoin. But I'm not going to buy Bitcoin now. I'm buying all Dogecoin, and then I'm going to convert some of my Doge over to Bitcoin when the Doge Bitcoin trading pair doubles. And then I'll get 2 Bitcoin for the price of 1. That's what I'm going to do. Which I've been talking about for the last 6 months. And now we're almost here. It's like, this is the time. This is the time. So, what else going on, guys? What else are you doing? ETH bottomed early 22. I think BMNR is going to have a parabolic run this bull cycle. 10x. Yeah, Bitmine. I mean, obviously Tom Lee has been calling for Bitcoin and ETH to go up. But he was calling for it back in, do I have Bitmine on my watch list? No, I don't. BMNR. Tom Lee was calling for crypto to go up last winter and into the spring. And I was covering that here, and I just continually said, no, we're in a bear market, crypto's going down. And he kept calling for higher prices, ETH to 4,000, ETH to 5, and it's like, no. But this Bitmine stock has been doing well. It came down to $14 and now is up to $18. That's a pretty good little run. It bottomed at about $12.80 here at the end of June, which was when ETH started going on its run in July. So Bitmine is up, ETH is up. That makes sense. So will Bitmine outperform Ethereum? It might. There's probably a good chance of that Bitmine will outperform Ethereum, because Ethereum, now it's say 2,000 goes up to 4,000. That's double. Bitmine goes from 17 cents to 35 cents easily. So it was last at 30 cents. When was that? In January, it was 30 cents. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Should I buy Bitmine stock? I don't know. It's already had a nice July. Obviously, the time to buy Bitmine stock was end of June. But you never know about these things. So you never know. Housing is down, autos are down. They should raise rates, but they won't. Right? War still has his Fed focus groups. What is he going to say about the focus groups on Wednesday? Have they focused on anything? Are they reporting anything yet? I'm guessing no. I'm guessing they're still working on it. And thus, they're not going to raise rates. But they're not going to lower rates either. It's still going to be a big nothing burger, zero. Tom Crown thinks that his words are going to be hawkish, and that's going to cause the markets to dump the hawkish tone, hawkish words. And I kind of believe him. Even though there's not going to be a hike or a cut, it's going to be zero, nothing, stay the same. Dogecoin is going to 3 cents because the Doge BTC pair breaks support of the monthly. Support of the monthly. Really? It hit my target already, which was 12, and now it's at 11.1. It hit. Its low right now is almost like down to 10.5. It dipped last week to 10.5, but it hit my target. And of course, that target I have had for the past 7-8 months. I had that target. Nobody believed me. Well, maybe some of you guys did, but nobody believed me. It went right through my target and is now even lower, which is better for me, who wants Bitcoin, but I'm not going to be buying Bitcoin now because the Doge BTC trading pair is so low. You think, there's no support anymore. We're outside of October 10th, when we had that flash crash because Doge dipped, came right back up. I don't count that. There's nothing else. There's nothing else here. So, yeah, Doge is down bad compared with Bitcoin, which is good for people wanting to buy Doge. Did the Department of Government Efficiency hurt Dogecoin's value? I think that happened back in a year ago, like spring of 2025 into the summer. I think it did then. We also, I mean, there was a whole pullback going on because of the tariffs, the threat of tariffs, what the impact of tariffs are going to be. But for Dogecoin specifically, I think it hurt Dogecoin during what should have been the last bull market year because of that. Yeah. Trump is going to do everything he can to pump Doge. Right. Trump coin. There you go. Yeah. No, I don't think he's going to do anything to support Trump coin anymore. I think he's going to wait that out until he's done with the White House now. So I found out you can use your X Money account for your auto payments on your apps, and so awesome. So X Payments, X Money doing payments. It's working. That's awesome, Jason. Awesome to hear. Hey, Will, how are you? There little to no, Danny says, little to no effect. There was confusion. I think it did have some. I think it did affect it in 2025. I think it did affect it. In the fall of 2024, Elon could do no wrong. In the spring of 2025, Elon wasn't looking so good. He wasn't looking so good. That was tough. And I think he sees that. That was tough. So he had to get back to his companies. So again, reminder, we have a poll going on here. What do you think? God, it's 50-50. Half of you think Dogecoin hit the bottom here. Half of you think we're going back down there or even lower. Wow. Half to half. What do you think, Crypto Dogs? Are we booming? Somebody just voted with a no. So I will end the poll there. Oh, it went back to 50-50. How did it end? I just ended the poll. I thought we had a winner. See what comes up. Yeah, we have a winner. No, 51%. Yes, 49. By one vote. So, by one vote, we're going to hit the bottom again. What's up, girls? We need the magic 8 ball. We need the magic 8 ball is only yes or no questions. I just chose no. So you are the deciding vote, DC. You were the deciding vote. You just got here. When is X Money launching? Today. It launched today. To some people. If you want to find out more about it, I covered it in detail about 45 minutes ago. So you can just scroll back until this X Money thing is up on the screen. This one. Till this is up on the screen. And I covered it all then. Okay? I'm not going to go through it all again. But thanks for stopping in. Hope everyone had a great day so far. I'm having a good day. Had another great weekend. Here in Florida, just checking out new Florida things. We're just, we're traveling around, seeing different towns around Florida. Being tourists, kind of being tourists. It's nice. Seeing things hadn't seen before. There's a lot of good stuff around here in Florida. A lot of good stuff. So if you you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing. I am here on X at Kriss. So when I'm not here on YouTube, I'm over there on X, keeping everyone up to date on what's going on with Dogecoin, as well as some of my personal life, like our day in Winter Park, Florida that we had over the weekend. So that's us. And we're just hanging out on the weekends, doing a good, it's a bear market, especially on the weekends. And the only thing that was going on this past weekend was Sheeb. And when you want me to just talk about Sheeb for an hour? I don't think so. I don't think that's what you want from me. I'd rather be doing this. So this is what we do on the weekends. We travel around Florida and seeing different sites, learning. They got some art museums there. We were looking at some contemporary art and some other art. It was good stuff. It's good stuff. So we did that. We will see 6.7 Wednesday at 3 p.m. So you think after the Fed meeting, we are going to have a dump and we're going to see Dogecoin hit Kriss's target on Wednesday. Wow. Well, I have my limit order set for one buy. And then if we go to 6.7, I'm going to buy more. I'm going to buy even more. I'm ready. So I like that. I would like that to happen because I'm ready to buy more. And we will be here live, probably starting at about 3:30 on Wednesday. We will be here live. So join in on the live stream on Wednesday. Make sure you're subscribed to the Kriss channel. You've got your notifications on because I'm going to be live following Tom Crown's FOMC coverage of his live coverage of the FOMC meeting. Kevin Warsh giving a statement and then doing Q&A with the financial press. Always a good time over on Tom Crown's channel. And then here I will do the aftermath of what's going on with the stocks. We'll follow up with gold, silver, the dollar, the stuff that Tom usually covers, see how that continues to move, as well as Doge and other cryptos. We'll be covering all of that Wednesday. I like Florida. Yeah, I do too, Will. You might come next year. Let me know. Let me know if you guys come down here to Florida. That would be awesome to meet you guys. Glad to see you're enjoying life. Thank you, Nick. Life is good. Did you tell her about crypto yet? Yes, I told her. I've got the Dogecoin thing hanging in my car, in my rearview mirror. Oh. Yes, I've told her all about it. So she knows. And she says, hey, whatever keeps you happy, right? She supports this. And it keeps me busy. It keeps me engaged. So I'm not just sitting on the beach wasting away every day. She is Shibatoshi.com. Aloha, Joanna. How are you? Jim Gels all set for Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be a big day. A big day, even though no interest rate hike, but no interest rate cut. It's still going to be some volatility that day. I'd be very careful if you're going to try and do a swing short-term, day trade kind of thing. I'd be very careful because it's going to be volatile. I'm not trading it. I'm just looking to buy more on dips. You sold all your sheep. Did you sell it on Saturday at the top? Will? Saturday at the top? That would have been a good time to sell right up here. That would have been a good time to sell. You go on a 25% run in the middle of a bear market summer, yes, you sell. And you buy back in at a lower price if you want to buy back in or not. Yes. You got your popcorn ready? All right. Look forward to it. Florida's great. You've got family in Florida? Doge to $1 party. It'll be here. It's not going to be at Kriss's. It'll be in some public place in Florida where we can all meet. But not at Kriss's, no. I'm not having a bunch of crypto degens over at my house. No offense. But, you know. Am I going to use X money? Yes. I want to get rid of my bank. Just like Jason is in the process of doing, I want to do the same. I want to use X money. I don't like the banks. She probably figured it out before you told her there were signs, and she seemed to observe. Yes. Yeah. No, I don't think so. We're pretty honest with each other. We talk about everything, and no. But I did have to tell her, like, what was going on, like, financially in my life. And so it came up. How did you know I was going to sell to buy the low? Welcome to the summer of 2026. We saw around 12% hike on Pepe. Yes, Pepe did have a bit of a run, came up to 3. Did come up to 3, which was my buy price, but then this was ETH that I had in my account over here. So, so basically Pepe just dipped and came back to where I bought it. So I'm in the Pepe world here. Of course, I bought that Pepe after this big dip. It ended up dipping a little more. But again, ETH was still going down too at that time. So it wouldn't have mattered. I had ETH and it was on Uniswap. And so I swapped it for Pepe. And ETH kept going down too. ETH is up a little more from the low than Pepe, but that's okay. Pepe will have its run, I believe. So I'm in the Pepe game. Arrow. Is Arrow pumping? Cryptos go on these runs, especially the low float ones. Well, I mean, you zoom out and Arrow is down quite a bit. So this is a 6%. Yeah, is that a pump? I don't know. Umair, is that a pump? I mean, if you bought the bottom down here at 40 cents, that's nice, up to 45 cents, but still, 5-6%, not really a huge pump yet. But nice to see. There's some activity in crypto. Not huge volume, but enough to move this thing back. Maybe it was totally oversold down here at 40 cents. So that could be. That could be for Aerodrome. We looked at Velodrome and Aerodrome last cycle. We were watching both of those. I mean, we go to the, we look at the top 10 in cryptos. We do this a lot. Here's still Dogecoin, still number 10. Hyperliquid. So in the past 7 days, Hyperliquid has gone down 8% and Doge is almost even. So Doge has gained 8% on Hyperliquid over the past 7 days. So closing the gap a bit. Solana down 2%, XRP down 2%. ETH is up 2% though. So ETH is doing the best. But Doge, just about breaking even. So still clearly the number 10 coin. Doge. Still there. Hanging out, still 7.2 cents. I did an experiment clicking remix video and turned out remixing videos is my YouTube niche. Joanna, awesome. Love it. Do what you like to do. That's what I say. Don't forget to smash the like, guys. Thank you. I just bought check at 27. Yeah, I bought check this morning at 26. 26. I'm into check again. For those wondering, what is this checkmate thing? Checkmate. I bought down here. 26. It went on a little run up to 32, and it's coming back down so I can buy some more because I'm not all loaded up yet. I wanted more, but it did this kind of little mini run up, coming back down. I'm going to load up more, and then it's going to do one of these bigger runs or one of these much bigger runs like this one. So this is one that I swing trade. And I was loading up this morning down here at 2.6 cents. And then it started taking off and I did not buy anymore. Now, it would have been great to sell at 3.2 and then buy back in. That would have been a short little swing. Yeah, I would have got a little bit. But you never know about this thing. But I'm waiting for the bigger green candle here on checkmate. Again, it's one of those cryptos. I have no idea what it does, but I keep doing these swing trades and it makes me money. So I will just continue to do that. It's sort of like Meggle, that stock Meggle that I do. Redliner or Redline Racer. Redline Racer. Arvest is trying to charge people a subscription to have a checking account. Bank of America will charge you for a checking account if you don't have a certain balance. If you don't have a minimum balance, it will essentially give you a monthly fee. Yeah. That's right. Bank of America does the same thing. I hold a bigger balance so I can avoid that. But that may be coming to an end if I totally get out of the bank business and go all X money. Yep. I like green Tuesdays. So you think tomorrow will be a green day? Maybe. Waiting for FOMC. What's your favorite AI to use and why? Sometimes I use ChatGPT. Sometimes I use Grok. I don't know. I've got apps of both of them on my phone, and I use Grok whenever I'm on a computer, on my laptop or a computer. I use Grok just because it's. I always have X open, so I use Grok. But sometimes ChatGPT on the app on my phone, I'll use that instead of Grok. No reason, just whatever I feel like. I don't pay for anything. I just use whatever's free. I do use Grok video image editing for some of my thumbnails because I get an image and there's something in it that I want altered or changed, or it's got a logo on it that I want removed or something like that. And I use Grok for that, which is awesome. Yes, Grok is amazing. Yeah. I'll be happy when we stop losing money and start climbing again. Again, this is accumulation time, Will. Accumulation time. Buying on the dips. So, and some think there's still more pain ahead into October. That could happen. That could happen. We do not know. So, the Tour de France is over, so summer is officially over. We got the whole month of August, which is like a lot of people on holiday still enjoying their summers. So to me, August is still summer. And crypto will be slow. Bear market will continue, like all of that stuff. My blood type is Grok AI. X Money will give you free cash withdrawals from ATMs. Free cash withdrawals. Interesting. Well, Jason, I guess the question comes up. So on the X side, you get free withdrawals. But what if the machine, because of whoever the machine is associated with, charges a fee? They pay the fees. They pay the fees. So let's say you're in Vegas and you're in a casino, which is the worst time to go to an ATM machine, because those ATM machines just charge you like ridiculous amounts of money to get cash. X is going to cover that? Is X going to cover that? We'll see. We'll see if people start reporting whether indeed that's true. I don't believe it. But hey, we'll see. No fees when it's an actual bank. It's still in Vegas, there's a fee there. They're just going to charge you right there on the ATM machine. I get this weird depression for a few days, and then when the tour ends, it feels like when summer vacation ends as a kid. You know, after Lance Armstrong won all of those Tour de France's, and then he got convicted of doping, and they stripped it. What did he have? 6 or 7? 6 or 7. He had 6 or 7 Tour de France wins that were stripped from him. So why watch this? I wasn't really a biker anyway, and I really wasn't watching it that religiously, but I was aware of it, and particularly with Lance Armstrong, being an American, winning that thing was a big deal. But yeah. See, Ryan, I knew you were still here. Lurking in the background, as always. I knew that would get you. Well, don't use those machines then. Well, you won't know which machines X Money is going to reimburse you for and which one's not. You won't know that. I don't trust any of those machines. The worst thing you could do in Vegas is go to an ATM machine. It's just the worst thing you could do. Already have your money with you. If that money runs out, call it a day. Done. You're done. Oh, but if I only had a little more money, I could win it all back. That's a loser mentality. A loser mentality. X Money. Not knowing about normally the machine says. Word will get out. All the people who have access are going to be spilling the deets. Yep, we'll wait for that. We'll see, Jason. Yep. People will start using it, and they're going to use it. It'll be everywhere in America. just in the USA first, is X money. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes them to branch out to different countries. What kind of deals they need to get in place in order to operate. The banks won't like X. They won't like it because it's taken away from them. But Elon, having already done PayPal, he knows what the rules are. He knows how to get things done here in the US. PayPal, after he left, branched out to other countries. I don't think PayPal was international while he was still there. I think he'd already sold it. Yeah, and started Tesla. But he still says, even today, yeah, I know the finance business. I was PayPal. So, and he uses WeChat, we know, when he goes to China. So he knows the WeChat app and how the WeChat app works, because the Chinese, they do everything on WeChat, including all their money. Well, they use Alibaba too. There's an Alibaba Pay, but there's WeChat. You can do everything on WeChat. And we know that he uses that. That's where the whole idea of the everything app came from, was that. Of which X will become. The X app on your phone will be the everything app. Once they get voice and video, so you can do voice calls and video calls directly to other X users. Because you can do that on WeChat right now. Anyone who uses that. Because as a Chinese company, you don't want that here in the US. But if X can do it, that'll be awesome. That will be awesome. I quit gambling when I was ahead because the house always wins. The house always wins. Sometimes it's just entertainment, right? You go to Vegas and you're there for a while. You play a little bit, you know. You lose typically more than you win. Crypto is gambling. Sure it is. So is investing in stocks. It's the same thing. You don't know which stocks are going to go up and which are going to go down and when. And so it's kind of like gambling. So well, we try here to change those odds. Handle what you can do. On this channel, we do what we can to change those odds, to make it much more in your favor. And that's all about the calendar and the timing of when you buy. That's really all it is. When Dogecoin was 40 cents back in December of 2024, that was not the time to buy Dogecoin, but people still did. Even people on this channel, for some reason, were still buying Dogecoin because they thought, oh, it's going to go higher. And I was like, I can't help you because I was selling. I was taking profits. So, and then I said, I will wait until the summer of 2026 to begin buying again. You remember that? I said that back in the winter of 2024. I said, I'm not buying any more crypto until the summer of 2026. And here we are. So now Kriss is buying. So I'm changing those 50-50 odds by just being patient and waiting. Did I know 100% certain that Dogecoin was going to be back down at 7 cents? No. But I had a pretty good intuition. So, right, it's a bottom now. But do you think in a year and a half, Dogecoin is still going to be 7 cents? Do you think that? A year and a half from now, do you think Dogecoin is still at 7 cents? I don't. I don't think we're trapped at a bottom. This is a short-term thing for the summer of 2026, as Kriss predicted. And then later on in the fall, into the winter time, I'm going to start to go up a little. And then at some point in time, Doge is going to go on a big run. A year and a half from now, you think Doge will be 20 cents. Okay. See, it's not 50-50, right? Then it's not 50-50, right? Do you see that now? It's not 50-50. You just don't buy a year and a half from now. You buy now. And then a year and a half from now, you're already up more than double on what you buy now. That's what we do on this channel. We talk about that. And a year and a half ago, I was predicting the summer of 2026 is when you would be buying, accumulating Dogecoin for the next bull market. Hi, Mark. How are you? My DCA automatically bought 40-cent Doge. Well, Jason, you know, the way you do it, you still have a really good average. So it just buys it because you don't know, right? You don't know what Doge is actually going to do. So, yeah. People saying Dogecoin going to $1. People can say whatever they want. Follow me. Be here. Get a realistic view of things. That's what we do on this channel. That's why people follow me. Because I'm not one of those out there who just like Crypto Rover and Vision Pulse and some of these guys that are just totally unrealistic. We got Ali, we've got Trader Allen, Trader Tardigrade with these completely unrealistic charts predicting future prices that ain't happening. That not happening. So, like the stream, subscribe to this channel, come back. I'm live every Monday and Wednesday. I'm not doing Fridays right now for the summer because we're traveling. We're doing fun stuff on Fridays now. I'll fill in with an extra live where I can. We'll put out videos as well. I know at least on Friday, I'm going to have a video for my August price prediction. Yeah, VP's unrealistic on the downside. He's too bearish. He's unrealistic on the downside right now. I made that mistake, bought some at 39 cents, thought it would break all-time high. Yep. I get it. When swapping 2 Bitcoin worth 145K, now worth 25K. Yeah, if you're doing swaps, why would you swap to Bitcoin when the price is high? Because you know the Bitcoin price is going to go down in a bear market. You don't swap to Bitcoin. You swap to cash and you hold the cash and you let crypto settle back down. You have to watch what you're swapping. Or to tether, right? A stable coin, depending on where you're doing your swapping. Actually, money, we did 48 cents, December 2024, 48 cents. I mean, if you were buying Dogecoin at 6 cents and then you were selling at 48 cents, that, if my math is correct, is around 8x. I would call that a bull run. You get an 8x return. I'll take that. I'll take that this time. I will take it. Dogecoin goes to 50 cents in the next couple of years. I'm taking profits. That's a good bull run. I'll take it. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. VP on the bearish side. Down, down, down. Because he shows like how Doge can go to like a penny or something. The last I saw. And I was like, yeah. All right, Joanna. No worries. I'm here. Mark is DCAing. Welcome to the summer of 2026. Bear market stuff. I mean, look at this chart. Here, let's go to a clean one. Let's go to a clean one that I haven't used, like BitGet. Look at the weekly chart. Oh, we did actually use this one for something. We were looking at something here. But yeah, this chart, let me get rid of this thing because this was something we were doing. Every once in a while, I just grab a different chart for one reason or another. But you look at this chart and you're like, this right here, right over here, that screams accumulation time. Look at that. Look at this chart. That just, for a top 10 coin that has the support that Dogecoin has, if you see a chart like this, that's some token that has no liquidity, you don't buy that. It's already gone on a run. It's probably not going on a run again. Whatever that cat thing was and whatever, it just, yeah, that's not gonna go again. But Dogecoin will. And so you accumulate here. Also DCAing some Bitcoin. You can't go wrong with having Bitcoin in your portfolio because you don't know what's going to happen. And it may end up being Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance goes way up again because Bitcoin is outperforming most of the crypto market again. That could still happen. I don't think it will because of this Doge Bitcoin trading pair that's now down here scraping bottoms. And then I believe we're going to get back up to this blue line here where it's going to be double, more than double now, which means I want one Bitcoin, but instead of buying Bitcoin right now, a whole Bitcoin, I'm going to buy one Bitcoin's worth of Dogecoin, set it aside. And when the Doge BTC trading pair comes up to this blue line, I'm going to flip that Doge over to Bitcoin. And guess what? I'm not going to have one Bitcoin anymore. I'm going to have two Bitcoin plus some. Two Bitcoin. So I'm not buying any Bitcoin right now because I believe in this. And that we're going to get back up to this blue line right here on the Doge BTC trading pair. And then I'm going to have two Bitcoin for the price of one. That would be like buying Bitcoin at $32,000 right now. I'll take that. I will take that. Do you have any geckos that come into my house? No, they're out. They're outside. They're happy outside. I don't leave the doors open. We have a lot of geckos. There's a lot of geckos around here. But no, I don't let them in the house. Can you explain how X money works and how to deposit money? I will go into those details when I actually get my X money account. I don't have my X money account yet. At least not that let me refresh my X. Not here yet. Not here yet. Because it'll say X, it'll say money. Not here yet. I'll check my notifications. Anything in my notifications? Not yet. I don't have a notification from X yet that I have access to X money. So until that happens, I can't give you the deets yet, Edward. But as soon as I do have X money and I create my account and I get it all set up and I start using it, I'll show all that. What price in a year and a half do you think Dogecoin will be? That is a question, my friend, that we're going to be exploring in the fall. I'm not ready to start doing my predictions yet out a year and a half from now because I don't know what's going to happen the rest of this bear market. And so it would be a disservice. It'll be a disservice to try and do estimates. See the fib lines here? These fib lines, I did the retracement fib lines here to predict 6.7 Doge at the bottom. So far, we got 6.85, which is pretty close, but it's not quite 6.7 yet, which is why I have this yellow box. This yellow box here is where I think Dogecoin will settle into at the bear market bottom. And that is thanks to this. And I can't do this for the upside for the next bull run until the bear market plays out. So stay tuned for that. I watch your channel because you're the only channel that has some belief in Dogecoin in the low bottom times. Yeah. Hey, when I'm bearish, I let you know I'm bearish, right? And I was bearish. I was bearish here. I was bearish here, right? And you can see by the thumbnails when I'm bearish. You can go onto my channel and you can just see, right? It's like, you got to go to videos. The Dogecoin bears, right? Still in control, the bears. Holding on, critical test, capitulation, right? So yeah, I'm bearish at times. I'm a bear. It happens. Now, I'm not a bear. I'm sideways or like accumulation, buying on dips. Michael says, I think crypto has changed in that we are, as a community, realize 100x is just gambling. A lot of bad YouTubers and information out there. Yeah, that's true. Now, 2021 was a crazy time, and some of you were trading then, and there were a lot of memes that were just going crazy. And even in 22, 23, we had, Pepe just going crazy. A lot of people making a lot of money. Fart coin, right? If you were an early buyer, you made a ton of money off fart coin. Like, that'll always happen, but that's a fringe thing. You got to be in on something really, really early and the right thing. And out of the millions of new tokens that are created every year, how do you know what's the one that's going to be a Pepe or a fart coin? How do you know? You don't. You don't know. So maybe you play one or two and you consider the money gone, and either it hits or it doesn't, right? But that should be a small little part of your portfolio. The people who lose all their money, because you see it posted, right? People just losing all their money. And I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? You're chasing those stupid meme tokens and you're getting rugged all the time. That's 100% guaranteed. That's how you're going to lose all your money. If you're buying top 100 cryptos and you've got a decent portfolio, including Bitcoin, but Doge as well, Doge isn't going to zero. You're not going to lose all your money. Oh no, says I don't see Doge making it. What do you consider making it? Doge will drop out of the top 20? No. Doge might get to 30 cents. Maybe. We'll see. Jason says it explains everything in the X money once you get it, and you can also ask Rock. All right. So there you go, Edward. But it doesn't do you any good until you actually have it. So how long do you think Doge will be at this bottom? I just told you where I think the price will go to. How long, we don't know. So we prepare to just keep buying. I previously have said months ago that I would be buying in June, I'll be buying in July, I'll be buying in August, and I'll be buying in September. Because that's what we've seen in cycles past, that you get a lot of opportunities to accumulate. It doesn't end in July. There's always some pullback in August, early September, at least. And even all these guys on YouTube are saying October this year or on X. It's like October. Maybe. How to create an X account. How to create an X account. You go to x.com and you give them your email address and you create your own X account. It's like starting any social media account, right? They're going to ask you a bunch of questions. You can set it up, set up your password, your PIN number, your like all that stuff, right? Say start an X account. Why is it so quiet on the Dogecoin? It's the summer. It's the summer, DNB. Low volume trading. We had a bit of, we had the big drop here on Thursday. We had a run back up on Saturday, and now we're going sideways again. So low volume, chopping around sideways. That's typical bear market stuff. I bought 2 Bitcoin worth of Doge, but that was when Doge was at 30 cents. Oh, yeah, that was the wrong time to make that swap. So you've learned from that. You learn from it and you do it better the next time. The next time Doge is at 30 cents, you're flipping the other way. You're flipping to Bitcoin. Unless it's at the end of a bull market. Then you're flipping to Tether. You want to be in cash or Tether at the top of the end of the bull market for Bitcoin, which will happen sometime in 2029 if it continues to follow the 4-year cycles. There's 1 million tokens created every couple of weeks. Yeah, whatever. There's a crap ton. There's a crap ton of tokens. How do you know which are the ones that are going to make it? How do you know? You don't. You don't know. So, any new crypto guys or gals need to follow Kriss for 2 years before buying a lot. Not financial advice. Thank you, Michael. Hey, I've got more than 2 years worth of videos and live streams that you can watch on my channel. Also, they're all here. Just go to videos. You go to the latest. You can see the most popular ones. You can go back to the old ones from 4 years ago. 4 years ago. You can go back. Yep. You want to know what it was like in 2022? Oh, yeah, I was here. I was here. So that was a long time ago. Oh man, Safe Moon update. Remember that? Safe Moon. I was doing Safe Moon. That's because you guys were still interested in it at the time. So yeah, look at that. Dogecoin, when to buy 4 years ago. Look at that. When to buy. Dogecoin in a bear market. See, here we are 4 years later. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Prices are just a little bit different. So, keeping it real. That's right, Joanna. The Doge hype is gone. It's the summer. It's bear market, dude. Oh no. Doge starts moving up again. The hype will be back. The FOMO will come back. That's how Dogecoin is every time. It's just not today. Every time. We're in the bull market. People will be piling into Dogecoin again. The hype will be back. You'll be back next live stream. Okay, Handle. We'll see you. Heat maps. Sure. Sure, Danny. Haven't looked at the heat maps today. I think it's going sideways now. We had a flush of the lows, right? Here, let's go to the 3-day. Oh, it's got a... it's making me log back in. To see the 3-day, it's making me log in. I'll just pull it over here. Thank you. Logged in now. 3-day. You know, for Dogecoin, we might need a little more than that. Because we don't get, yeah, we need the week. We need the week because we need to see the pullback. Right, it is. So, all right. So there you go. So we had the pullback on yeah. The pullback was on Thursday. And so we took out all those longs. We had the last capitulation on Friday down to 6.8 cents. When Dogecoin started going up again, we had a lot of new long leverage trades that were created. Those are all these down here. And as Dogecoin continued to go up on Saturday, we had more long leverage, but not as heavy at first. And then as Doge was going up, we were taking out all the shorts because there were heavy shorts on Doge. So we took out all those. And that went all the way up to 7.4 cents. So these guys up here from 7.45 up to 7.5, huge amounts of money up here on shorts they're making a lot of money now. Does Dogecoin have enough momentum to come up that high? I don't know right now. I don't know. The big long leverage is back down here, 6.8. Millions of dollars sitting down here. But then we have millions of dollars up here, 7.45 up to 7.5. Millions of dollars on Doge. So there you go. There's the heat map right now. That gives a pretty clear idea of what's been happening with the leverage trading. But overall, open interest is down. Volume is down on the leverage trading because it's the summertime. It happens every summer. You sold 110,000 Doge. Last bull held on the rest. Yeah, I didn't sell all of my Dogecoin. I sold most of it, but I always hold on to some. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, should have sold it all, right? But that's okay. Kriss literally has an archive of how Doge trades. That is true, Jason. That is true. Yep. Yeah. New cryptos will rise over the next cycle. Yeah, there'll be some new ones that come out, but that doesn't mean Doge is going back down to like 30th. It doesn't mean that. We have this whole bear market and Doge is still number 10. So, no, I don't think so. Markets are never realistic. That's true. That's true. You can be 99% certain something's going to go up because of the news or whatever, and then it goes down, and you just scratch your head and you go, what the hell? Why is this going down? Same thing happens the other way. Good news comes out about something, and you're like, okay, we're going to go up, and it goes down. Yep. You get used to it in crypto. You put your limit order in at 695 and it filled $3,000 worth of Doge. There you go, Will. Now on Robinhood, I had my limit order at 695, but it had to go down to 685 on Robinhood to fill. And I knew that. And I knew that because it was Robinhood, but it did. It made it. And it gave me the Doge actually at 693. Thank you, Robinhood, for that little extra. Oh, I thought you were done for the day there, Handel. Oh, it'll get celebrity stuff again. It'll come back. When Doge starts hyping again, it'll come back. It's at what price you buy. That's correct. Always. It's number 10 because it's number 10 because we're in a bear market and Dogecoin has held up well enough to not drop lower compared to other tokens and coins. That's all. 30 to 40 cents is possible. 30 to 40 cents will be tough. Hey, everybody has opinions out there. Nobody knows. Do you believe the FTX crash exacerbated the 2022 crash and therefore is influencing peeps like VP to be extra bearish? Yeah, I don't know why he's as bearish as he is. Maybe he's just looking at the charts too long and doing technical analysis too long. And the charts are telling him one thing when reality is something else. In the end, the FTX crash was a big final capitulation black swan event at the end of the 2022 bear market. But it's interesting that Dogecoin did not fall down to 2022 lows at the FTX crash. Its low of the cycle was in June, which is interesting. Dogecoin didn't capitulate as much as Bitcoin and Solana did. Solana did because they were associated with FTX, the exchange. And FTX owned a crap ton of Solana. And nobody knew what was going to happen to that Solana. But, yeah. And if you look at those charts, and I mean, like Ben's website, Ben Cowan's website, Into the Cryptoverse, and you start tracking like the 4-year cycles. And they pretty much say it's going to be October will be the final bottom of the bear market, will be in October, if you follow that. And I've said, I'm not waiting for October to buy. I'm going to buy throughout the summer, is what I've said. And that's what I'm doing. I bought some in June in the 8s. I bought in July in the 6s. I'll buy in August. I'll buy in September. And I'll be all topped out by the middle of September. If it goes lower in October, so be it. Maybe I'll scrape a few dollars from somewhere and buy some more. But I'll be pretty much loaded up by the middle of September. That's how I'm doing it. I'm not waiting for this FTX type thing that may or may not happen in October of this year. So the fee side, you have to be careful where you're trading. So if you're on Uniswap, you could end up paying like 30%. Yeah. You have to, and it depends on what you're buying. If you're buying stuff that has good liquidity, you won't pay that much. But if you're trying to swap to something that has really low liquidity, you have to be careful because you could burn a lot. And 80% of tokens did not hit its all-time high, a new all-time high in 2025. If they had an all-time high in 2021, it wasn't 80%. More than not, did not reach their 2021, or in some cases, even their 2017 highs. So that's not true. Sol Hype and BNB, yeah, you can name a few. That is not 80%, my friend. We've had this discussion before. We've had this discussion before. So yeah. You think 2029 Doge will get up to 63 to 72 cents? Maybe. Let's see how it plays out. I thought Doge was going to merge with enthusiasm. Doge has enthusiasm when it's pumping, and when it's dumping, the enthusiasm goes away, like anything. 10-cent Doge party, Chris's homework. 10 cents. Oh, let's party. Woo! It's not going to disappear like Luna. No. 50-cent Doge party. We'll have a 50-cent half Doge party. How about that? We'll have a half Doge party. 50 cent. 50 cent. We did not hit 50 cents in 2024. I was so bummed. I had my next limit order set to sell at 50 cents. Doge got up to 48 and then it turned around. It was so close. And I was like, oh, I'm sure like New Year, it's going to like go back up. Didn't. Trump inauguration. There'll be a pump in crypto. The pro crypto president, right? We're gonna have a pump. Oh, he launches the stupid Trump meme token, sucks the liquidity out of everything, and everything tanks. That's how it played out. And we were here. We followed it along. Kriss was wrong. My January price prediction that year was wrong, and I admit it. But everybody was wrong in January 2025. Nobody predicted that was going to happen. Changed the whole market. I didn't buy too quickly. Oh no. You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't know what the markets are going to do. You're so sure that August is going to have a big dump. But is it? You don't know that. I'm more than happy to buy right here. More than happy. Come on, 6.9 cent Dogecoin. I'm perfectly happy with that. So, am I buying Doge this time around? I already have, Native. I've already been buying. I bought some in June. I just bought some here on Friday, or I guess Thursday. Yeah, Thursday on the dip. Bought a bunch here. And I will buy more in August. I'll buy more in September. If Ono is correct and there's a big dump in August, I'll be there buying. I will be there. At 36, your auto sale will kick in for profit. Yeah. Are we killing the dollar Doge party? No, we're not. The dollar Doge party is still on, DB. Everybody's coming to Florida. That way, if Doge hits $1 in the wintertime, everybody will be like, I'm going to Florida. Where if it was in Boston, people are like, why would I want to go to Boston when there's like a foot of snow on the ground? But I'll go to Florida. Yes. Did I sell my house in Boston? Yes, I did. Sold the house in February and moved down here. And here I am, getting through the hot Florida summer, but that's okay. Because you know what? There's no state income tax down here. And even energy prices are so much cheaper. Massachusetts has the most expensive energy prices. Oh, we're getting a little red candle going on here, my friends. Getting a little red candle. We're getting some late long leverage traders. Some late long leverage traders are getting liquidated here. Right at 6 o'clock. Wow. The midterms will have a buildup. Well, I think, Jason, that's going to keep the stock market propped up. There are many people who are predicting like AI bubble, stock market crash. I mean, Warren Buffett has been talking about a stock market crash for like 6 months. Has it happened? No. He's sitting on these huge wads of cash, and he's missing out on some of the best stock market gains like ever. And I've consistently said Trump is going to do everything he can to keep the stock market up to the midterms. I know charts. I know charts. Oh, that's hilarious. You realize charts don't matter, right, Ono? Do you realize that? There's no such thing as technical analysis. It doesn't exist. People are not buying and selling crypto because of some moving average or reverse head and shoulders shit. It doesn't. The price of a coin doesn't know when it's going to hit a certain moving average or not. It's all bullshit. Dude, you do realize that, right? It's all bullshit. I do some of it for the fun of it, but it's more just tracking how things are trading. But I don't predict like, oh, the 100-month moving average is going to like change the... It doesn't work. Hey, Raiden, how are you? Welcome. Yeah, Ono needs to cheer up a bit. You're right. Raiden gifted a membership. Hey, my friend, how are you? Who got the membership? Redline Racer. Hey, congratulations, Redline Racer. Raiden, as always, thank you for your generosity. Raiden always like to see who's lurking on the stream. But Redline he's been offering some chats. He hasn't been sitting there lurking. So I'm there if Doge hits $1. Florida, big party, baby. Big party. I hope it happens in like February or March and everybody comes to Florida. That would be awesome. FOMC jitters. Yeah. Yeah, Danny, we could have a little of that. Or this is just a manipulation by market makers. It's after 6 o'clock here on the East Coast, and they're just going to manipulate some prices to get some leverage liquidations going. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Bitcoin tonight come down to 64K. If we go down below the 64.3 level right there, and we go lower, they're going to take out more leverage trades. So I perfectly see that happening tonight. We might even dip below 64K. I could see that happen. Can you tell me more about the move? It was to get out of Massachusetts for a number of reasons. One of which is financial freedom. Financial freedom. Even though I owned that house, I didn't have a mortgage on it. The utility costs were huge. It was a big house. The utility costs were huge. The real estate taxes were huge. And then on top of that, I'm looking at how much money I paid to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in my capital gains taxes. It was over $50,000. And I was like, if I was in Florida, I wouldn't have had to pay that $50,000. So I was going to move to Florida anyway. It was just a matter of time. But then there were a number of other reasons too, to make the move then. So I did. It all kind of happened. Did I make out okay? Yes, I did. I bought 3 pieces of real estate, cash. 3 pieces of real estate. One is my house here, but I also bought each of my sons a condo, cash. So 3 pieces of real estate. My sons now have their own places. I mean, they still have to pay the taxes and the HOA, but they don't have to pay a mortgage or rent. So that's setting them up financially. So I did that. I did that thing. Financially, it was a good move. You've been DCAing $30 a week. You know, Mark, many people just do that. And you know what? It works out. Bad timing for X money to dump Doge. Bitcoin is going to 45. X money is not dumping Doge. True, X money is going to launch without Dogecoin. Yes, we know that. Yes, there will be stupid people that will still come out and say things like that. And I'm sorry, that is a stupid thing to say. Because we know there's no digital assets on X money right now at the start. Eventually, there will be digital assets. Kriss thinks it's going to be stable coins. But if Elon is truly supporting Dogecoin, he'll find some role for Dogecoin somewhere within the XX money sphere. Somewhere there will be a Dogecoin thing. That's going to happen. But today, X Money's launching fiat-based in the United States because it's Visa they're partnering with, and Visa is, you know, like a big bank, anti-crypto, like all of that, and they'll play the stablecoin game because that's supported by the U.S. government, and all of that is going to happen. I'll throw more if I see a nice drop. Oh, you meant bump. Bump. There's no bump. It's just going sideways. You feel like you're 10 feet tall. Raiden's a good dude. Have you seen Robinhood has their own blockchain now? Yes, they've got meme coins. Okay, Rod, dude, they're not coins, they're tokens. The tokens are created by individuals who have total control over the token. So when people start putting their money in it, they can rug pull it and you end up losing, just like pump.fun. Okay? That's what it is. 99% of the stuff that's made on Robinhood meme token launchpads are crap. Crap, 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 crap. You're going to lose your money, Rod. Rod. You're going to lose your money. Unless you know someone who's creating something and you're in with a dev and you get in early on something that is going to pump, and then you take your profits as soon as you have profits, that's the only way you can make money. You're over in Fort Myers. I want to go next spring to see a Boston Red Sox spring training game. I've never seen a Boston Red Sox spring training game. Never been to Fort Myers. I am going to do that next spring. Next spring, I will be in Fort Myers. Get them to pay your rent. No. The whole idea is for them to create their own financial freedom, to start working on a nest egg, to have extra money. That. I can have a will, and when I die, they can get everything, right? But that's years from now. That's decades from now, right? That doesn't help them today financially. I have a way to help them today. I've helped them. So we're good. It must be nice. I identify as Chris's son. Buy me a condo. Oh, I love that, Danny. That's great. Buy me a condo. Welcome to the great state of Florida. You're welcome. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Will. Love it. Absolutely love it here. And again, if you follow me on X, every weekend we're going someplace, somewhere in Florida. We were up in Winter Park. We were up in Winter Park last weekend, which was a lot of fun. Never been to Winter Park before. We had a great time. And then the week before that, we were over in Winter Garden, which was gotta get through the week. It was here. We were in Winter Garden here. So yeah, next weekend we're going to be somewhere else. So every weekend we're going other places in Florida, checking things out, having fun. So follow me on X at Kriss Pax over on X. You can give it back later. Oh, another one. Doge is done. You've got your money in XRP and ETH. Well, I'll tell you, Christian, XRP and ETH will be fine. And you'll probably do well the next 3 years. XRP and ETH will be up and you will make money. But I believe for some period of time over the next 2 years, Dogecoin will outperform both XRP and ETH. It's all about timing with Dogecoin. It's all about timing. In my opinion, Doge is not done because it has consistently shown pumps, and they happen with Dogecoin. So from an investing point of view, which is what you're talking about here, I mean, Doge does so much more than just that. But from an investing point of view, there'll be a period of time Dogecoin outperforms both XRP and Ethereum. And you got to play it right. But you can still make money with those two and you'll probably be fine. And I'm not saying don't buy XRP or don't buy ETH. In fact, I own both of them. I own some XRP and I own some Ethereum. So I'm okay. I just have a lot more Doge. I also identify with Kriss as his son. Oh, identify as Chris's son's son. Why is everything winter? Yeah, Winter Park and Winter Garden have funny stories to them that I learned over the past 2 weeks. People from the north came down and said, winter, we call it, this is the Winter Park. This is where we go during the winters to get away from the ice and the cold in the north. That's where the names came from. I met her down here, Mark. I met her down here. The former Miss Kriss Pax and I broke up. So, which was another reason I left up there, was to get away from that. And I've got a new girl. I got a new girl. If XRP and ETH run, Doge will do the same. Most likely, Maramello, yes. Crypto does tend to all go up at the same time. If we have a full bull run from, let's say, November to May, right? Let's just call it that, 6-month run. XRP and ETH are going up, Doge will go up too. Yes. Doge is going to be sitting here at 7 cents when XRP is at $2. That's not happening. So it's bear market, dude. It's bear market. This was predicted by Kriss. Last November, I predicted this. Exactly what's happening now. If you were here last November, I predicted this. And I've got the proof. Here's my fib line. Here it is, it's right here. I predicted this, 6.7 cents. The prophecy was made back in November. 6.7 cent Dogecoin, right here. And not only that, but we did also figure out that on Bitcoin, although I had erased it, I brought it back just because we were talking about it. And guess what? 57,526. Look at that. 57. Let me repeat. 57,526. It's right here. 57,526. What did Bitcoin hit on its low? 57,495. I mean, I did this last November, people. So what are we doing now in the summer of 2026? We're buying at the bottom of the bear market. Dogecoin's dead. It's never coming back. And this fall, I will be making predictions of the next bull market. And we will start talking about gains in crypto. It's going to happen in Bitcoin. It's going to happen in Dogecoin. Dogecoin is not staying down at 7 cents forever, in my humble opinion. IMHO. So the proof is there. And I did a whole bunch of other coins too. Back in December, I did a whole live stream calling the crypto bottoms of the next bear market. Some of them have already hit, some haven't hit. But Bitcoin and Dogecoin, the ones I follow the most and cover the most in detail, yeah. Now, technically, the bottom was 682 right there. Not quite 6.7, but it's pretty damn close. It's pretty damn close. He just whipped out the proof. Just whipped it out. 6.7. You can't make that up. Oh. Patience, people. 2028, yeah. And I've got a whole thing about 2028, and I posted that back in June, just to keep people in their mind of like what the bigger picture is. When you're buying in the bear market bottoms, this is what could happen in 2028. I've already posted that, and we will revisit that this fall. It takes patience, though. It's not going to go up to 30 cents tomorrow. Dogecoin's not going to 30 cents tomorrow. Wow, that is so depressing. You can have a will, and when they die, they can end up getting nothing. It's so depressing. But the will could be worth millions, too. The way I'm going right now, we'll be okay. Right, Marmello, 40 cents is a good time to buy. Guaranteed, we're going to be sitting here in the spring of 2028. I should probably clip this, right? We should clip this, right? Spring of 2028, Dogecoin will be over 30 cents. And somebody on the live stream will say, it's now a good time to buy. Let me repeat, clip this. I'm telling AI, clip this. In the spring of 2028, Dogecoin will hit 30 cents, and somebody in a live stream will post, is this a good time to buy? And my answer is going to be, where were you in the summer of 2026? Where were you in the summer of 2026 when Doge hit 7 cents and was below, was actually 6.9? That's when you should have been buying. And this time I'm going to say it. I was trying to be nice to people last time. I was trying to be nice. But this time I'm not going to be so nice. I'm going to be like, dude, did you just wake up for a long, 5-year sleep and you totally missed out on the last bull cycle, so you don't know what a bear market is? Because we're in it now. Thus, we have people in the chat saying, Doge is dead. It's never coming back. And I'm just like, because markets do that to people. Markets do that to people, especially if they already bought at 18, 22, 32, 40 cents. And now their portfolio is showing a big red negative number because they were buying at the wrong time. So I'll remember it. Thank you, Marmello. And I know Ryan will remember it too, because he's good at that. He's always been buying Dogecoin every week at these prices. Awesome, Rod. Awesome. Just remember to sell some Doge when it gets up to that price. We will talk about selling strategies, taking slices, and all that again, just like we did back in 2024. In fact, it was the early fall 2024, before Dogecoin started running. Dogecoin had just gotten out of a 9-cent dip, was trading in the low 10s, 11, somewhere in there. And I did a whole thing about taking profits. And then Dogecoin went up to 20 cents. It went up to 30 cents. It went up over 40 cents. And still, many people did not take any profits. I don't know what to say. I was taking profits. 42,069 was the exact number. I put it in a limit order on Robinhood. 42,069. And it hit. And people said, you made me buy Dogecoin at 42 cents. I was like, how could I do that? I was selling. I wasn't buying. Oh, the world used to be half full. Yeah. Homegirl success. You're welcome. How you doing? Nice to see you. How much Dogecoin have you bought so far? So I bought 200,000 Doge in June in the mid 8s. I bought 400,000 Dogecoin this last week. And I always put my little circles. See, there's my circle right there for my June buy. Like I said, I was going to buy in June. And I bought right here. 6.93. I actually had it 685, but 693 is what Robinhood gave me. 400,000. And on the next dip, I'll buy 400,000 more. And then another dip, I'll buy 400,000 more. And I'll keep doing that until I'm all used up. How much is it going to be in total? I don't know yet. Other cryptocurrencies I'm planning to buy. Yes. I do want to have a few others. It's not going to be all Dogecoin. I still have some left over from last cycle. I will continue to keep those and sell those in the next bull market. But some I've sold, like Sui and Jasmine. I still have a little bit of those left, but I had big amounts that I sold for big profits. And I would like to buy those again. Sui and Jasmine, they were both very good to me last cycle. And I think Jasmine, I mean, I got a 10x last cycle on Jasmine. To get a 10x again this cycle would be awesome. Jasmine. You don't know. You don't know which ones are going to be the winners. I already have some Pepe. I'm looking at Pengu and maybe adding some Pengu. I'm not going to have 27 different altcoins this cycle. I'm not going to do that. And then I continue to swing trade some other things like Checkmate and Based and Spell Token. Those are just swing trades. And I'll just continue to do that. I'm going to wait until it hits $1. Well, you never know. You know. No more Mr. Nice Guy. We need the liquidity to get out. Exactly. 260K for Bitcoin. You think so? We'll see. I should have sold. Was greedy. I understand greed. I've been there. I did it in 2021. I was convinced Dogecoin was going to $1. Was convinced. I had 440,000 Doge. I think something like that. Because I had the initial 400,000 buy, and then I had added some more all the way through the big April run up, early May, up to 73 cents. And I was convinced Dogecoin was going to $1. And I did not take any profits in 2021. So I learned from that. And I said, okay, next bull market, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take slices. This was the new thing. I'm going to take profit. And I was convinced the bull market would go through 2025. But in 2024, when we had all that hype around Trump and Elon and all of that, and Dogecoin was racing up, I said, we're taking profits. We're taking profits. And this is how to do it. And I did that. And it was the right thing to do. So you bought a long time ago and held. Awesome. This cycle, you're going to take some little slices, some little profits. Enjoy some of your gains. We'll see where the prices go. We don't know yet. Bitcoin is going lower than Dogecoin. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Right. I remember when Doge was going to 50 cents. That was my next limit order sell. After 42.069, it was 50 cents, half a dollar. I remember I had it set 50 cents. And it got to 48 and it did tease. Yes, it did. Yep. What the hell? Okay. That's a boot. Boot. Who says that? Okay. The ZS guy just got the boot. If any of you guys read that, it was like, meh. Learned a lesson. And you don't have to sell it all at once. Exactly. Take slices. Yes, Nick. We will be talking all about that in 2028. We will be repeating that whole diatribe that I gave back in 2024. Again, just to remind people, I had to repay a lien and still avoid a margin call. Learn from that. Extremely blessed. And on we go. Abiding faithfulness. Yep, it's a learning experience. And you get that behind you, and you don't do that again. Yep. I had an average cost of 9 cents, was thinking of selling at 50. So close. We were so close. I mean, I ended up selling most in the 30s of everything else I sold after the Trump token thing and the fear of tariffs started. So I still got a decent profit because my average was in the 7s. So, so selling in the 30s was still it was a good thing. But that would have been nice if it hit 50 cents. That would have been nice. I wouldn't have sold it all then, though. It just would have been another slice. At that point, in December of 2024, it still just would have been another slice. Where do you see Bitcoin heading price range, October to December? So I did a 2026 year. I did the whole year back in January 1st. So I made a video of that. And now I just do month to month. So if you want to see what I thought for the entire year, you can go onto my channel, and you can see the video, which was my 2026 price prediction for the year. And I did that. Now I go month to month. And on Friday, I will have my video for my August price prediction. I'll be doing that on Friday. October to December will be an interesting time, particularly for Bitcoin, because we don't know if it already hit its bottom, like I think it did, or there's going to be some big black swan event that's going to drop Bitcoin further. We don't know. So that will influence what happens October to December. But I can't say now. I won't say how much I round tripped last year. I probably held on to too much, but I was happy with the profit I made and what I did sell. I mean, you never know what crypto is going to do. I mean, I had convinced myself that we would follow the 4-year cycle and we would be in a bear market like we are. But yeah, I'm okay. Our emotions betrayed us. 50 cents. That 50-cent line, I know. Half a dollar. It was right there. It was right there. Half a dollar. So close. So close. So Bitcoin continues to come down. It's almost reached my target of 64,333 right here. I think Bitcoin is going below that wick right there, 64,333, in order to take out longer standing leverage trades. Bitcoin is heading down there. At times like this, it is the market makers who control the crypto market, and Bitcoin will head down into the low 64s to take out longer standing leverage trades. Millions and millions of dollars. That's what's happening tonight, my friends. I believe. It's just an opinion. I've just been doing this a long time, and I see that happen. So that brings down the rest of the crypto market with it. So we will have Doge coming down below 710, most likely, but we'll see how that all plays out tonight. So that's it, my friends. That's what we have for today. I'll be live again Wednesday, probably starting about 3:30. That's usually right after Tom Crown ends his FOMC live stream, after Kevin Warsh is done doing all the Q&A with the finance peeps. And then I'll do the aftermath of that. So that'll be coming on Wednesday. Make sure you're subscribed. You got your notifications on. Always give a like to my videos and live streams. I appreciate all of the support. And I hope everyone has a great Monday night. And we'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.